Last year there was a study that showed how a very large protein intake, like 100 grams after exercise, results in a larger and longer anabolic response than a low protein intake of 25 grams. This challenges the previous ideas that you can utilize only about 40 grams of protein in a meal. It also confirms my own experience, as I've been doing intermittent fasting and eating 30 grams of protein before my workout and over 100 grams after the workout for 8 years. Despite having only 2 protein feedings per day, I've never had problems with maintaining or putting on muscle. In fact, I went from 70 kilograms to 85 kilograms using this approach. Ever since I talked about this study, people have been asking, how do you get 100 grams of protein in one meal? Well, in this video I'm going to share with you examples of how do you get 100 grams of protein in one meal. And it's actually quite easy if you know which kind of foods to eat. In addition to that, I'll also give you examples of how do you get 30 grams of protein per meal, which is what most people will want to aim for. Alright, so first let me walk you through an example of what I usually eat. In one of my recent videos, where I was using a continuous glucose monitor, I ate 106 grams of protein for dinner. Here are the macros for that meal. I was getting 106 grams of protein, up to 300 grams of carbs and 60 grams of fat in one meal. I ate about 500 grams of sweet potatoes, 200 grams of salmon, 150 grams of vegetables, 2 egg whites, and for dessert I had 200 grams of curd, which is like cottage cheese with fruit. There's no secret to getting 100 grams of protein, you just need to eat foods that have a lot of protein. If you're eating something like 300 grams of chicken breast, steak, or something else like salmon or fish that is high in protein, or even things like seitan, which is vegan, you're already getting 75 to 90 grams of protein. Then the rest of the 10 to 20 grams of protein you'll be getting from all the other foods. I'm going to give you more examples of how do you get the 100 grams of protein in one meal. But first, it's very important to ask yourself, do you actually need to eat 100 grams of protein in one meal? How much protein you need greatly depends on your body weight and if you exercise. The higher your lean body mass, the more protein you need to maintain and build muscle. We actually have a very good understanding of what's the optimal amount of protein for building muscle. A 2018 meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials found that muscle growth and strength development peaked at 1.6 grams per kilogram or 0.8 grams per pound of body weight for protein intake. There are some individuals who saw greater effects, but on average the maximum benefits were observed at 1.6 grams per kilogram or 0.8 grams per pound. I weigh around 80 kilograms, so for me that would be 128 grams of protein. That's much lower than you would expect, but it's already enough for maximizing muscle growth and strength development. I achieve that 130 grams very easily. I have my protein shake before workouts for 30 grams of protein, and then I have around 90 to 100 grams of protein after the workout. I don't think this is the most optimal way to build muscle, like eating all your protein in one meal, but this is just what I like to do and it works. With the 2 protein intakes a day, 30 plus 100 grams of protein, I've been making consistent and slow progress over the last 8 years. Do you have to follow this pattern? Not inherently, I just do it because I like it. So what's the optimal frequency for eating protein? How often should you eat protein for maximum gains? A 2018 review concluded that maximal muscle anabolism is accomplished by eating 0.4 grams per kilogram per meal, which is 0.2 grams per pound per meal, divided into 4 meals spread 4 hours apart, to reach at least 1.6 grams per kilogram or 0.8 grams per pound per day of protein. For me, who weighs 80 kilograms, that would be 32 grams of protein per meal for 4 meals. Alright, so how would you get to the 30 grams of protein per meal? You can get 30 grams of protein from one of these examples. 4 to 5 eggs, 2 beef burgers, 5 ounces or 141 grams of salmon, 3 ounces or 85 grams of chicken breast, 1 cup of cottage cheese, 3 ounces or 85 grams of steak, or 40 grams of whey protein or any other protein powder. The truth is that it's very easy to get 30 grams of protein if you eat the mix of foods. If you eat, let's say, 3 eggs and 30 grams of salmon, plus some vegetables or something else like nuts or seeds, you'll be getting over 30 grams of protein very easily. What if you're a plant-based eater? For a vegan option, you will want to eat roughly 20 to 30% more protein to make up for the lower amount of essential amino acids in plant foods. That would be around 36 to 39 grams of protein instead of 30. Here's how to get it. 2.5 cups of black beans, 6 ounces or 170 grams of seitan, 6 ounces or 170 grams of tempeh, 10 ounces or 280 grams of tofu, or 40 grams of pea protein powder. Again, if you're eating a mix of foods, you'll be getting this quite easily. You eat 1 cup of black beans, 100 grams of tempeh, and some other vegetables with some nuts and seeds, and you'll get up to 40 grams of protein very easily. Now let's do the same for the 100 grams of protein. How much of these foods you would need to eat to get the 100 grams? 425 grams or 15 ounces of salmon, 255 grams or 9 ounces of chicken breast, 255 grams or 9 ounces of steak, And again, for vegan options, you need 20 to 30% more, so 120 to 130 grams instead of 100, 550 grams or 19 ounces of seitan, and 550 grams or 19 ounces of tempeh. If you're ever struggling with getting the protein, then you can just add a scoop of protein powder and you'll get an easy 30 grams of protein. Mix the protein powder with some yogurt for a great dessert. We're living in the 21st century, so it's very easy to just get your protein. It's easier than ever before, no matter what type of a diet you follow. No one is really protein deficient in the developed countries. If you're ever struggling with getting the 1.6 grams per kilogram of protein per day, then you're either 1. Not eating foods that have enough protein, 2. You skip too many meals and whenever you eat, you undereat protein, or 3. You just have a poor appetite and you stop eating before you get the protein. Alright, here are some final conclusions and guidelines for getting your protein. Number 1, aim for 1.6 grams per kilogram or 0.8 grams per pound if you want to optimize muscle and strength. You'll be able to maintain muscle with lower protein intakes, but there's no need to eat more than that. If you're eating a vegan or heavily plant-based diet, then you'll just need about 20 to 30% more protein to meet the equivalent effects as shown by studies. Aim for 2 to 4 meals per day to get that protein. If you eat 4 meals per day, then each meal should have 0.4 grams per kilogram of protein per meal, which usually is around 30 grams. If you eat 3 meals per day, then aim for 0.5 to 0.6 grams per kilogram of protein per meal, which is around 45 to 50 grams of protein. If you eat 2 meals per day, then either have the 30 grams of protein before the workout and then 100 grams after the workout, or just split them evenly. Based on the study that I started the video with, you can absorb more than 25 grams of protein per meal, and eating more than 25 grams appears to be optimal. You want to get at least 30 grams of protein per meal. Is it better to force feed yourself 100 grams of protein after your workout, or is it fine to just have 30 grams after your workout, like if you have 4 meals per day? We don't necessarily know the answer to that. There haven't been studies comparing these different types of diets. But what matters most is getting the total amount of protein per day. Get the 1.6 grams per kilogram of protein per day, no matter how many meals you get it from. If you want to know how I build muscle and lose fat at the same time, then check out this video. Other than that, thanks for watching this video. Make sure to click a like and subscribe for future videos about living longer and staying healthier. My name is Siim. Stay optimized, stay empowered.